Countryside. It's Joe Smith, your general manager, and I'm back again with Mike McDonald, the chair of our renovation committee. Today is Friday, August 16th.
Yeah.
And we have another project update.
Sure.
And over the last couple of weeks, we have talked quite a bit about a lot of the site work that's happening in and around the construction fence area. And Mike, as we stand here in the building, there's a lot happening inside also.
Sure.
So where are we at this week?
Charlie's getting ready to pour all the concrete under the old roof. So we had cuts, as we discussed, the entire kitchen was slab was removed, cuts in other places to run piping. So he's doing final prep this week. I think next Wednesday right now is the target for concrete delivery with the pumper truck to pour everything inside.
Yeah.
Work they added was, we've talked about the sloping floor in the atrium that has to be topped. They've decided just to cut out the bad slab and re-pour it in nice and level.
Yeah.
That's a better solution, doesn't cost us anything more.
It's the right way to do it.
Instead of skimming over thin areas of concrete, we'll just get a nice clean slab. So they're cutting out right now. We asked them to just pause for a minute, but they'll have all that removed today and get the rebar set and all the poly, and get ready for that pour next week.
Excellent. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're planning on pouring the slab for the pool cafe next week as well.
Yes.
Or towards the end of next week.
Yeah, the concrete guys are working right now to level out the dirt and get that compacted. The forms are set on the edge. As we've been struggling with this with the architect, the slope of the pool cafe slab has to be pitched away from the bar, from the center out to the edges. So if water blows in from rain, it has at least a positive runoff. It won't be very dramatic over a lot of, over 20 feet. It might be a half an inch, quarter of an inch, but it needs to at least be pitched positively away. Sure. So that water has a chance to get out.
Yeah.
You can't pour it flat because the concrete codes allow flat to actually be defined as a 1/8 inch in 10-foot deviation. That means you could end up with low spots in what you think is flat, and it would meet the code, but it's still not flat.
Yeah, gotcha.
So you got to put a positive pitch on everything. So they finally figured all the math out for that. We adjusted our tile pattern to go with that. So they're closing in. All the inspections have passed for all the underground piping and electrical. So they're just getting the final grading done today. Then they'll put the plastic down, the welded wire mesh, and we'll be ready to pour.
Well, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to taking another aerial photo after the concrete's been poured.
Yes.
Because again, every time there's a better defined footprint, you really start to see the shape of the building taking place. So. And
as soon as that slab is poured, the very next day they'll start building the concrete block walls. So,
so we'll have vertical. Vertical work happening on this side of the building.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent.
On the other end, we're ready for trusses. They're supposed to be here in 3 weeks. The roofers are coming either this week or started next week. They're going to peel back some of the old roof tiles so that they can frame in when those trusses come in. They're set, and they can stick frame and do all the final work to tie the new roof into the old roof.
That's right.
As soon as those trusses are in, there'll be plywood. Put the waterproofing membrane on, and we'll have a dry end of that building.
Excellent. So, and we've got our roof tile matched.
Yeah, we found the same company is making the same tile and the same color.
That's good news.
Yeah, so
that's good news.
There's some fading on these tiles when they have that dye in them. It's a concrete tile, it's not a clay tile, so it doesn't hold its color. We did save enough old tiles. Hopefully all the areas facing the road that are old and need patching, we can fill in with the old tiles. All the new roofs will have the new tiles. In a matter of a couple of years, they'll all be faded to the same level anyway.
And really the roof, we replaced this roof and the pro shop in 2019.
Right.
So the roof really isn't that old. The sample that Charlie had gotten side by side of the new tile and the tile we pulled off isn't really that.
No, they're
bad.
pretty close.
So
they're pretty close.
We should be okay there. It's one less thing to worry about.
The committee doesn't love the red color, but we actually debated painting it, but that's not a good long-term solution. So hopefully when the new roof is, well, the roof has to be re-roofed in
We
20
can
years.
coordinate all of our buildings.
Yeah, and maybe get a nicer shade
Yeah.
of something else.
That's right.
You
That's
know?
right.
And we see them popping up around the club, some of the different re-roofs.
Yeah.
Because to me, the red's kind of an older look.
It is.
And,
It is. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
maybe more Boca Raton and not Naples.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, we'll keep as much of that old roof as we've paid for and expand with the new tiles
Excellent.
in the new areas.
Excellent.
Yep.
And then, so we have an awful lot of site work that's happening outside of the fence, which is really that's gonna
Sure.
continue probably through the end of September.
Yes.
But there's a lot of drainage work. So all these big, giant concrete storm boxes, that's what's going in the ground as part of that work.
Yep.
So
So there's an extensive design by our civil engineer at
Yeah.
both ends of the building to collect all the water that comes off our roofs, out of our gutters, out of our roof drains and the flood areas. All that water ends up flowing eventually to the lakes on our club and
Yeah.
eventually through the canals and out to the Gulf. So those structures are large, those pipes are large.
Yeah.
They're deep in many cases.
Yeah.
So that work has started at the north and west end of our club. Some big trees have come down, and
Yeah.
they're getting ready to start digging those trenches.
Yeah, we'll drop some aerial photos in of the cart staging area so you can see how that's changed in the last week here. But
Sure.
yeah, that whole area is going to change dramatically and really expand towards the cart barn, so there'll be more space for staging carts. And
Yeah, there was a big
shotguns and-
landscape area right where the cart washing station was,
Yeah.
between there and the first tee. So we've cleaned that up with the tree removal. We're going to leave a few of the smaller palms, but we'll have more paving in there. So because of the displacement of patio where we built the addition,
That's right.
we need to pick up some additional space. So we've laid it out with the architect. All the same number of carts will fit. It'll be an improvement there to just clean up that area.
Excellent. And then the other site work that's going to happen, probably at the tail end of that, is the parking lot to the, I guess that's like
The south side of Wellness?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah,
So-
Charlie has a 6-week plan
Yeah.
that he began a week ago to get this site work done before members return
Right.
for season. So once he's squared away over here, the structures are in, and the pipes are all connected up, he'll go to the other end, strip the old parking lot down, regrade, create the new drainage, and
right.
set the structures over there.
That's right.
And at least put the first course of paving down. I'm not sure he'll do both courses because the construction traffic will be parked there at times.
Right.
So typically the blacktop goes down in 2 layers, and the first course is the binding course to keep the ground clean. Second course is the top coat, and he'll probably wait to do the top coat and the striping till the end.
Yeah.
In case the machines mess it up a little.
But as a reminder, that parking lot expands, opens up closer to the wellness center.
Yes.
And that's mainly where we pick up a lot of our additional parking that was required.
Yeah, there were 24 spaces
so-
there in wellness. We're going to bring it up to 48.
Yeah.
So by
Doubling
using
it,
that
yeah.
lawn, we're going to double the capacity.
Yeah.
And there'll be more use of that parking lot because right now it's just kind of wellness
Yeah.
and maybe the driving range, but with the pool cafe, there's a lot more center of gravity of this club has shifted in that direction. So there'll be more folks, I think, parking there, walking past. That's the way we realigned the fence at the pool.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go into the pool to get into wellness.
Right.
So there'll now be a clear circulation path, a sidewalk from the expanded parking past the edge of wellness over to the pool and pool cafe.
I think the overall kind of traffic pattern and walkways with this is really going to improve. That's one thing that's always felt fragmented to me here. We feel like we've got some like random sidewalks that were added at one time, or they go somewhere and stop. And I think the overall just directional and how you get to certain areas of the club is really going to be enhanced. Which will make a difference.
Yeah, and that lot of wellness was rarely used, maybe on a full event day. Now I think those extra spaces
more of a reason to
will
park
be
down there.
Yeah, be good thing.
Excellent. One last thing before I let you go. One of the questions I've gotten pretty regularly as we've shared the aerials, the aerial videos, is what is the status and the plan with the pool? People keep seeing this this pond in the ground, this hole in the ground.
Sure.
And I know we've got some tentative spa plans.
Yes.
And Charlie has shared with me that he's kind of targeting the December timeframe, hopefully to start that part of the project and be finished maybe around March or February. Towards
Actually,
the
the dates I recall,
So-
he was going to be done in late January with the whole.
Oh,
with the whole
even-
pool.
even better.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the patio and all that stuff,
Right.
but the schedule that I discussed with him was he's going to start sooner, and hopefully that pool's done by, I think he said third week in January.
Awesome, even better.
Yeah,
even better.
So that should look
So
clean that up.
again, towards the end of this year, we're going to start to see some major activity relative to that piece of the project, which is a big part of it. You know,
yeah,
it's
it's a $500,000 swimming pool just for the hole in the
shell.
ground.
Yeah.
And everything related to it is another $1 million for the
Right.
the patios and
Right.
the shade and the fence and the planting and the whole.
Well, and you know that one rendering we did of the pool and
Sure.
the outdoor, the pool, the deck, and the bar.
Yeah.
That has just created so much excitement.
Yep.
You know, that one single rendering. So I
Yep.
know people are excited for
It's
that.
on the cover of my monthly report now, because
Yeah.
that really is, that's the
It's
new
awesome.
space, and you see the
It's
pool
awesome.
cafe in the behind it, and that's the new attraction.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
But otherwise, the electricians and plumbers are continuing to work. They're working overhead.
Yeah.
Electricians here today. As soon as this slab is in, all this patching is done, they'll really start to crank
Yeah.
up the manpower.
Yeah.
And the parking lot's going to start to fill up with
Yeah.
pickups and.
That's a good point. I actually just spoke about this with our management team yesterday. You know, when we get into season, the busier months of the year, we're pretty much going to be under roof on the entire building. So
Yes. Yep.
just from an awareness standpoint, and we will talk more about this, but there's going to be an awful lot more trade activity on
Yep.
site.
Yep.
Probably not like major, like big work, big trucks, but a lot more trucks and personnel and just
Yep.
people being around. So I think it's just something to be aware of. There's going to be
Right.
a lot of activity this season, which is a good thing, but
Sure.
want to be safe as
Yeah,
well.
we're going to start to see $1 million a month in production on the site.
Right.
Right now, we're at $400,000
Right.
a month.
Exactly.
So they really need the dry area for the framers to come in and finish the rough in of the trades, get the drywall going. So we're still on target for power, permanent power to the building November 1st, plus
Okay.
or minus. The rooftop units will be in place, all flashed and ready on the roofs,
Yep.
so we can get the air conditioning on. And that last 5 months of the job will be $4 to $5 million of construction, all the interior detailing.
Beautiful.
And the last thing is flooring.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're close, when everybody's got the ladders out of the way and they're sweeping and vacuuming and getting ready for the floor material. So we should see that.
I can't wait till we have to put on those protective booties
yes.
to walk on the new floors.
To keep from scratching our next floors.
So.
Yeah, we're still 6 months from that. But
but it'll
we're
be
on
here
our way.
before we know it.
Yes.
So.
Yep.
Excellent. Anything else to cover? Or is that's pretty?
Coordination of the kitchen work has continued. The equipment. We've roughed in everything under the slabs.
Yep.
They're going to bring the hood documents out in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
Lay it out on the floor slab that they poured to make sure everything overhead is clear for that before they actually bring the hoods and raise them up.
Right.
They're also going to lay out the ceiling design on the floor so they can check again for any intrusions from sprinkler pipes or ductwork. It's been coordinated on paper and it's installed according to that coordination, but you still want to double check everything. Sometimes the thickness of a 2x4 has been, sort of forgotten about, or the depth of a light that's been recessed. So they want to draw out the ceiling on the floor slab, then look up and see, does everything we're proposing here, this light, this speaker, whatever it is, does it all fit where we're saying?
It makes sense in the real world, right?
And we know the old trusses, the bottom of those trusses was just inches above the old ceiling.
That's right, yeah.
So we're trying to maintain that height. So we have a more intricate ceiling design, but we want to make sure, again, that we're not put a recessed can light directly under a truss where there's a 2-foot space between them, but that for some reason that light is right in the wrong spot. So they'll lay everything out, spray paint, chalk lines, the whole thing, and then they'll be fully coordinated. And the framers are just around the corner. As soon as we get these roofs on,
Yeah.
We'll see some metal framing
Well,
going.
again, that's another milestone. I can't wait to
Yeah.
do a video at that point so people can start to see some depth in actual spaces, how
Sure.
things are
Yeah.
divided up inside
Yeah.
this shell. So it's
So that's it. Doors and windows. I think we're maybe a month and a half, 2 months out.
Yeah.
All the drawings are approved. The fabrication drawings have been sent back. Everything is technically correct, so they should be making our doors and windows.
Excellent.
And we have some frames on site, but those are going into masonry walls. They're
Yeah.
just steel frames. The aluminum and the glass will be right behind the closing in of the roofs and the walls.
Awesome.
So that way, when we turn the AC on, obviously the building is
Yeah,
tight. It won't be
yeah.
insulated 100%,
Yeah.
but they'll insulate as much as they can. And that's another milestone. Again, we talked about when the members return, this building should look intact from the outside.
Yeah.
The site should be pretty clean, and most of the work will be inside.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
You
Good
bet.
stuff. Well, you and the committee continue to do an excellent job, and we're very appreciative of your leadership. So,
You bet.
keep it going.
Okay.
You guys are meeting weekly now, and those meetings have been productive. So,
Sure.
again, for those of you who are not here locally with us, you should feel good that
Yep.
project's on track, on task, and
Sure.
being watched closely.
Yeah, we got to
So-
give our site super everything he needs for
Yeah.
answers,
Yeah.
resources, any problems he's got. It's not now, we can't wait 2 weeks for the next meeting to answer somebody's
Yeah.
question. So every Thursday afternoon, we get on the horn. What do you need? Obviously, you're
Yeah.
talking to him daily, but sometimes an engineer or somebody has to give him an
Yeah,
answer.
absolutely.
It takes a little work for them to create the answer, so we just want to make sure things are happening.
And we're kind of the funnel, the club
Yes.
is the funnel between
Yeah.
Heatherwood and our other
Sure.
contractors. So
They're all working for the club, and so we're
yeah,
able to just
but
dial up what we need.
it's going good. So,
Good, good.
Awesome. Mike, as always, thanks
Sure.
for the time. Appreciate the updates. Countryside, questions, comments, you know where to find us. And we'll see you again in a couple weeks with another update. So
You bet.
excellent.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you.
All right.